Hey, it's Al Williamson with leadinglandlord.com. I'm pumped really to talk to you guys today because I put together something I think is pretty incredible. As you know, what Leading Landlord does is we're always trying to collect ideas to help you reduce your rental expenses and also find other income streams besides just raising rent. So my people are landlords and I'm just doing research for landlords. And what I got for you today is something that I'm working on for my new workbook is on expense reductions. And the premise goes, if Warren Buffett had access to your rentals bank account, do you think he would do some things that would help you make more money without you doing any extra work or raising your rents? And most people I put that question to, they say, yeah, he probably would do something. He'd probably move the money around differently and with more precision and with more savvy. So I said, well, okay, let me think about what he would do. Let me collect some ideas about how we can reduce our rental expenses, whether you're doing midterm rentals or short-term rentals or just a regular landlord. All of these things would help you. Okay, so let's get right into it. I want to talk to you about how to use um, interest arbitrage, which you kind of already know, and velocity, the velocity of money to help you reduce your expenses. So let's look at this. Let's start off with this example of Hank. Hank has $3,000 outstanding balance on his Home Depot card, and he's got $2,000 in the bank saved up. That's the bank is his family's bank, his personal savings for his household. So what Hank does, he starts to think about what he can do. Maybe I should refinance the Home Depot card because it's at 23% interest. If I can save some of that, that'd be a good deal to do. So what he does, he looks at his spreadsheet and he says, well, if I'm putting $300 a month, that's what I'm contributing. I'm going to end up in 12 months, I'm going to end up paying $362.58 of interest, just wasting that. Let me do something about it because I'm always feeling like I'm not getting ahead. No matter what I do, I feel like I'm not getting ahead. So Hank said, okay, let me take the $2,000, even though it's not enough. Let me move it and try some of these banker moves that he learned about from George Anton. So what he did is this. He said, okay, every month I'm going to contribute $300 like I always have been. I like to fix my expenses, so that's how much I can contribute towards Home Depot. That's the plan. And this time I'm going to take some of that $2,000 and I'm going to contribute it to pay off. I'm going to take the whole thing because that's how much I can afford to be without for a little bit and contribute that onto my Home Depot cart, just like that. So here's the math. Is started with $3,000, took a $2,000 loan from his savings, contributed $300 that he normally does. So the balance on the Home Depot card goes to $700. So that right there is interest arbitrage because you're taking that 10% money from that loan that he decided to give himself at 10% and paying down the 23% interest. So that's just a regular refinancing $2,000, interest arbitrage. And that's the first part of this. All right, that's the first part. I wanted you to know there's two parts to this. There's interest arbitrage and velocity. Let's talk about the next thing. First month after it happens, at the end of that, he contributes $300 to his account. And so he contributes it from his rental company, contributes $300, and they put $100 towards the Home Depot card, and they pay that $700 balance down to $600. And they contribute the other $200 to the family's savings account to pay on that 10% loan that they got. All right, business as usual. So the bank account goes up $200. The next month, the same thing. The rental company pays $300 and $100 is applied to the Home Depot card. And that pays the balance down on the Home Depot card by $100. So there's a $500 balance on the Home Depot card. And then the other $200 of the contribution goes towards the savings account. So that savings account balance goes up to $400. Now, month number 3, where things get interesting, the rental company still pays $300 just like it had always planned, business as usual, and it puts $100 on the Home Depot card, so it pays the $500 balance down to $400. And then it puts the other $200 of the contribution towards the savings account to pay on that loan. So that balance goes from $400 up to $600. And Hank says, wait a second here. I got an opportunity now to do some of those banking strategies that George Anton's been talking about. And what I got is I got $600 now in my savings account. I don't have the full $2,000 that I loaned out, but I do have $600 in my savings account. And I look over at my Home Depot card and it's got a balance of $400. Wow, why don't I take a second loan and from my savings account and pay off my credit card? So that's what he does. He takes a second loan. He decides to do it the same terms. Even if he does it at 10%, it's still going to be fine. And he pays it down onto that Home Depot card and pays it off. Okay, takes $400 and pays it off. Now this is what he got. The beginning of fourth loan, he doesn't have any money owed to Home Depot. And when that $300 comes in, he puts it right into a savings account. He's got $200 left on his savings in his balance, and it goes to $500, and it keeps going like that for the full year. Remember, we're going to do 12 months of this in our example. So he's got two things going. He's got interest arbitrage working for him, and he's got velocity of money working for him. Let's talk about the summary. What happened? Even though Hank just had $2,000, he was able to pay off a $3,000 loan, a $3,000 balance on his Home Depot card, even though he didn't have the full $3,000. So I want to make sure you get that through. So he started with that, and then at the end of this 4 months, he ends up with paying it off, his Home Depot card completely, and that's going to be a big savings on interest, and he has $200 left in his savings account. But he's also got these two loans, these two IOUs at 10% working. All right, he's going to far exceed that. So all that in 4 months, that's incredible. So he's got interest arbitrage to happen. He's got the velocity of money happening because he took his payments before the $2,000 was paid off. He took what he had payments collected, and he gave himself a second loan to pay off the card. And then he also has a switch of ownership now. He used to be Home Depot's asset. Home Depot looked at Hank as a guy who's going to pay us $300 for 12 months, and we can raise the interest to whatever we want. Then he switched that over to now his rental company is his personal savings account's asset. Now he's got these two IOUs that his rental company owes him, so he's doing business with himself. He's keeping his money in his own economy. Now, he talked to his friends about this. Hank said to his friends, hey, this is what I'm doing. It looks like it's great. It's working out great. And they said, well, that doesn't really make any sense. Why is that so good? So Hank shows them the spreadsheet. He said, okay, a typical consumer doesn't do anything. They just pay. A typical consumer just makes everybody else rich. They make everybody rich. So they would just pay just $300 a month, pay it off in 12 months. Okay, so their savings account, if you're acting like a consumer, your savings account doesn't go up at all. You just have the regular 1% interest that your bank may be paying you and maybe not. And if you act like an investor, he told his friends, he said, well, the investor would just take the $2,000 and refinance the Home Depot credit card, just pay it to Home Depot credit card, and then make $300 a month onto the Home Depot card. And once that was paid off in 4 months, then they would start paying the balance to the savings account. Okay, and that's great. They would end up paying a lot less interest. Then now they only owe $61 of interest, which is great. And they built up their savings account by what? That $538. That's great. That's above the $2,000. That's a wonderful investment, a wonderful use of your savings. But if he acts like a banker and does this banker trick and adds the velocity of money into this, now he's giving himself two loans, and look what happens. He pays a little bit more interest, just a few more dollars of interest, and he makes a whopping $826 profit over his $2,000. That's incredible. Let's put it all together. Now, if you're acting like a consumer, which most people do, and we need them to do that because they make investors and bankers rich. Consumers make investors and bankers rich. So we need them to do that. Thank you, consumers. You're going to make $0 on your savings, roughly. And if you act like an investor, which most of us do, that's all we know how to do. Okay? Investors make bankers rich. Investors make bankers rich. So if you're acting like an investor, which is great, you're going to end up with this $538.24 profit. All right? And now if you act like a banker, who everyone makes a banker rich, the bankers are using different strategies and they're not working hard. You would make an additional profit off of your $2,000. Your rate of return is $826.67, which is incredible. All right, that is a great investment off of $2,000 in just 12 months. You didn't have to go to the stock market to do that. You didn't have to take any risks. You didn't have to buy any more rental property. What you did is some banker moves. Did some things on the back end, used some things that Warren Buffett would do. So I hope this helps you. I'm going to keep going with this series, and it's going to be in the upcoming workbook. And you can see right here is very valuable information on how to do these things. Now, if you want more information on how you can use these tactics to buy assets to increase your income, well, check it out below. I'm going to invite you to one of George Anton's upcoming Income Amplifier Workshops. But for right now, I hope this helps you. Leave some comments if this does. Let me know if you like this. That's it for this time. I'll see you on the next video. If you like this, if it helped you, you should definitely subscribe.